Before the new year hits, and while we're still knee deep in our business planning and goal setting for 2025, there's a concept that I would like to introduce to you that may help us to find that stick to itiveness when it comes to our goal setting, our resolution making, whatever. We all make jokes about how New Year's resolutions do not last. And I think that some of the reason for that is that we don't make decisions in a way that is sticky and that is prepared for. Any one of us today could say, I'm choosing to be someone who goes to the gym every single day. But if we don't stack our habits in a way that's going to make that doable for us, it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to introduce to you is what I call the commitment cascade. And I call it a cascade because one thing kind of snowballs onto the next one, or like a waterfall. Once it gets rolling, it's rolling pretty quickly. And the way that I think about this is that it's a way to plan to make a decision that's actually going to stick. So the formula behind the commitment cascade is 4Ds to get to the T. So what does that mean? The 4Ds that I want to introduce, nothing revolutionary here, is decision, dedication, discipline, and determination. And that's going to lead to our T, and our T is transformation. So what do I mean by this? The preparing to get to this decision-making process looks like this. One, the first D, decision. I want for you to ask yourself the clarifying question from the focusing question from the One Thing book, essentially. What is the one thing? It could be a system, a behavior, a leadership mentality, a way of communicating, a spending habit, anything. What is the one thing that if I decide to zero in on it and focus on it, everything else will become easier in my life? So start with that. Really think through what is the smallest domino. The second D, dedication, is asking myself the question, how am I going to commit to this change to make sure that it is wholeheartedly stuck to and becomes a piece of who I am? So what is it that I'm going to do to dedicate myself to this process? The third D is discipline. Asking myself the question, what are the consistent actions that I'm going to take to make sure that I'm in alignment with the commitment that I'm making? In order to be different, I'm going to have to show up differently. I'm going to have to act differently. So what do those actions look like? And then the last D is determination. Things are going to come up that are going to try to knock me off my path. If I can think about that in the forefront of my decision-making process, I can have a contingency plan for those things, those difficult moments that are going to make me say, I don't feel like doing this anymore. So asking myself the question, how am I going to persist through the challenges that are going to show up that are looking to distract me from my goal? All of this is, like I said, going to lead to a transformation. And I think it's also really important to sit down and ask myself, who am I going to be? What will that person look like? How do they show up? What do they speak like? What do they smell like? How will I be as a person once I have experienced the transformation that I'm looking to have, so that I can picture that person and I can ask myself, am I moving closer to alignment with that person, or am I moving further away from it? So rather than just simply making a goal or making a resolution and saying, this is what I'm going to do, take a second to work through the commitment cascade and ask yourself these questions before we just blindly say, I'm going to do this.